This is VSiN PrimeTime. Live from the Circus Sportsbook in downtown Las Vegas on VSiN, the sports betting network.
So we have a lot. I don't even know where to go. All right, first off, let's go with the postseason game that is underway. 35-31, Boston is trailing the Orlando Magic with 10 minutes left to go in the second. Alfred Collins, the defensive tackle, is now being selected by the San Francisco 49ers in the National Football League draft in the second round. He was the 43rd overall selection, so we'll keep our eye there. I do want to note, because this game is about to get started, Matt, that Milwaukee and Indiana are about to go. As I alluded to, I did take 5.5 in the first half with Indiana as well. So this is one of those days where it's like, let's do this thing. This is, I think, again, a play on principle, as you have alluded to. Let me read you something that this is I can't wrap my head around this. You ready for this? For the game, pre-flop, Indiana across the board is catching 4.5. For the first half, they are 5-point underdogs. So again, you are laying more in the first half with Milwaukee than you are for the game.
So that whole theory that the home team down 2-0 is going to come out like bats out of hell in the first quarter and first half.
This is, again, it's a play on principle.
Yeah,
that is absolute insanity. That should not be the number.
I'm with you. I think that number is too high. Basically got to bet it on principle. But then again, if you bet that last night with the Thunder, you got smoked.
Yes, you did. Didn't even have it. It wasn't this pronounced, though. Like, this is to be laying more than what you are in the game in the first half is ridiculous. And the market shows no signs of slowing down. So Indiana catching that number. And here's the thing. I just don't even understand the number in general anyway. Look, you closed as 4-point favorites on your home floor in game 2. You won and you covered. You won and covered the first game in a lopsided nature as well. The natural transition back, if you will, as 4-point favorites to Milwaukee should be more like Milwaukee minus 2.5. And yet here we are for the game, upwards of 4.5 in most spots, and now 5-point favorites for Milwaukee in the first half. I actually think, and I used it for our contest that we just alluded to. You can go to VSiN.com. I'm actually I think I'm the only one on. We have 1, 2, 3, 4. We have 4 handicappers today on the Milwaukee Bucks minus 5.
In the contest, can you play first halves?
No, you cannot.
Okay,
I would have been
just full game sides in total.
Yes.
Right? Yeah, okay.
So we have quite a few people that are on that. Myself and Alex Christensen, who is a handicapper for BetUS, works with our buddy Doug Kazarian as well. He and I are the two that are on the Pacers plus 5 here in this game. But the number, just again, it's just a little out of whack. They don't have anybody to guard this backcourt. The Bucks have shown that they are limited in terms of their athleticism. They're, I shouldn't say grasping at straws, but the big adjustment is start Gary Trent Jr. today over Taurean Prince. Like, okay, cool. There's another guy we can pick on as a defender in this lineup. I just don't really buy it. The other thing that has really been pointed out by many, stop me if you've heard this before, Doc Rivers isn't doing the best job coaching. The ridiculous
I'm gonna
resistance.
Stop you, because I've heard that before.
Yeah, right. Yeah. The resistance to running the Dame Giannis pick and roll, which has been pointed out in the second game, they ran it just 6 times. In those possessions, they averaged an offensive rating of 133. Incredible offensive rating. But again, they ran it about 6 or 7 times. For some reason, stubbornness to not go to that with some frequency has been a consistent problem with this team. Don't think that's getting solved here. I think they're bad on defense. I don't think they're very athletic. I think it's a bad matchup. So I'll take 5 on a number that is way out of whack with where the market was the first 2 games.
Yeah, I don't blame you in this specific game. I say that I respect these situational spots in the NBA playoffs too much to bet against teams like the Bucks tonight. Now, like I said, I fully understand your bet. You see the Rockets and how bad they were in Game 1, and then in Game 2, all of a sudden the Rockets are 3-point favorites over the Warriors. Looks like it's too much of a number's a little too big, right? And the Warriors come out flat. Rockets take care of business and cover. T-Wolves shoot lights out in Game 1 against the Lakers. 21 threes made. Come back Game 2, look like they don't give a damn. They shoot 5 for 25 from 3.
Yeah.
And, last night, OKC Thunder off a 51-point win and another blowout win in Game 2, go to Memphis and they're down 30 in the second quarter.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't like to bet into these situational spots, especially in the Game 2 or Game 3 spots, no matter what the matchups look like sometimes. And that's why I'm going to stay away from that one. Cowboys pick is in. Round 2, pick number 44.
Boston College edge, Donovan, I'm going to say E.
Good call. Izaraku, something
Okay,
like that.
yeah, I think that was pretty close, actually. I think you got it really well. Good job. All right, so I wanted to, since we're back on the draft, I wanted to tie up a couple of loose ends. First off, our colleague here that has worked in the network, Jeff Schwartz, had tweeted this out. Offshore, there was a prop available. Will Shedeur Sanders be drafted in the second round? The no was about 100 to 1. As he put up when he was going back and forth with the Bear Felica, it was limited to $1. But how about that? 100 to 1. Shedeur Sanders not to be drafted here in the second round specifically. So that is going to be something to watch. Also wanted to note and shout out DJ Jams, who is watching us on wherever you're watching, DJ, or listening. He has a 120 to 1 ticket on the Jacksonville Jaguars to be the team to draft Shedeur Sanders.
120 to 1?
120 to 1. Wouldn't I, dude, don't hate that.
Yeah, I don't hate anything like that when you're talking about triple-digit odds at this point because we're getting to the territory in the draft where you could take him as a luxury pick.
Yeah.
You say, hey, we're getting great value with this guy as a late second round, third round pick. So it almost could happen with any team at this point.
And here's, in theory, if you believe that this market is accurate, Polymarket has this right now at 21%. The Jacksonville Jaguars take Shedeur Sanders. By odds, that is about plus 375.
Right.
So your ticket, DJ Jams, from a pure value standpoint, is solid. You're sitting on 120 to 1 right now. At least one market deems is more like plus 375.
Yeah, that's true.
So I'm pulling for you. And, I mean, just imagine the theater and the noise of Shedeur being drafted by the Jags, who went up and got Travis Hunter.
Yeah, so that's another thing here. The Jaguars have traded away so many picks that they really can't afford to do things like that.
Sure. Well, it's a long shot.
So I probably lessened the chances they were going to take a quarterback to back up Trevor Lawrence. But, hey, man, 125 to 1, give it a shot. I've a lot of people asked me that before. What do you think about taking a shot with this at 151? Hey, if it's triple digits, take a shot.
Yep.
You don't have to bet a little. You only have to bet a little to make a lot. And put it this way, you would really regret it if it hit and you didn't make the bet, so just bet it for something.
So if you want a recap of what we have seen so far in this Orlando-Boston game, I have a great tweet for you. Caleb Burton covers them for NBCS Boston, 17 fouls, 3 reviews, and a flagrant in 15 minutes. It's been a great game so far. But I'm glad I can watch it, unlike last night.
What happened last night?
Well, you're here at the book, so you guys didn't run into the problem.
Oh.
The Clippers game blacked out here.
It was?
Yep. Blacked out in Las Vegas. Now, I have, because I am a tried and true, I have Clipper Vision, which is essentially the paid subscription where you can watch all of them regardless of blackout restrictions.
Yeah.
But not
it was on NBA TV.
It was on NBA TV.
Oh.
And because of that is bound to local broadcasting rules. That means that here in Las Vegas, if you were at home, you did not get to watch Clippers Nuggets last night.
That's crazy. That's never happened with
It's a playoff game. And by the way, this has happened now multiple times with these NBA TV games. If you were in Denver, for example, you did not get to watch that game. Now, granted, the end result, you're probably happy you didn't watch it. But that is absolute insanity that you're a pro league like this, and in the first round of the playoffs, you have games getting blacked out.
It didn't occur to me. I was in here in the book last night.
Yep.
And watching the draft, and we watched a little bit of the Clippers game afterwards, OKC Memphis game, and I did bet the Clippers for a little bit last night, 5-point favorites, and that was a no-sweat winner.
Yeah, I got to.
How do you look at Game 4? Clips now, 6-point favorites?
I think you lay it again. I think this team is. We've talked about this before the series. My initial thought was Clippers in 6. Obviously, I think they're the better team. I have this play on them to win the series. I think that we have seen now through these first few games, they are the much better team. They blew Game 1. I think we should be very frank about that. If Russell Westbrook doesn't hit a corner 3, they're up 3-0 in this series right now.
That's true, but also the Nuggets had a great shot to win Game 2 too. I think the split was fair in Denver.
Sure. I mean, you could. I think that there has been a very clear issue for the Denver Nuggets defensively. They don't have an answer for Harden. They don't have an answer for Kawhi Leonard. I think that they are kind of running on fumes. By the way, they're injured. Russell Westbrook gets hurt last night, only plays 9 minutes, doesn't come back into the game. Michael Porter Jr., Chris Haynes not Chris Haynes. Mark Spears had a troubling report after the game yesterday that essentially said, look, if Michael Porter Jr., if I feel like this again, I ain't playing in this next game. That shoulder is really bothering him. And it wasn't like
He's not really helping the team that much anyway.
Right. So at what point, outside of, and I guess this is a possibility, outside of Nikola Jokic playing 45 minutes and dragging this team by the scruff of their neck to a win, look at last night. He had a triple-double, was great. They lost by 1,000,000 points.
I know.
I just think this team's really up against it. And
looks like they're out of gas.
Yep. I think this might end up being a shorter series than most, including myself, anticipated. I think the Clippers are in a very good position to win and cover again this weekend and go back to Denver up 3-1.
I'm not going to argue.
Yeah.
Last night I thought it was a good spot to bet the Clippers, and I'm not going to bet the Nuggets in Game 4. I was hoping, this thing would go 7, but it doesn't look like the Nuggets would be able to get to 7.
I'm waiting. I want to see the Raiders pick. Rams are up, by the way.
Rams are on the clock at number 46. I think the Raiders have, pick 48 coming up?
Yeah, that's why I thought they were up here, but they are not. This is 46. VSiN.com/subscribe. We have a lot of great content up on the site. That includes the betting splits. So if you're somebody that likes to see where the money is moving for every single game and use it as part of your handicapping arsenal, you get access to that and much more as part of a VSiN Pro subscription. Sign up for our summer special. Less than $60 gets you everything we do until August 1st. So go to VSiN.com/subscribe and check out your options right now. But a great way to get through the summer, grinding through baseball, NBA postseason, and more, is to get your hands on the betting splits and everything we do up at the website at VSiN.com/subscribe. Hot start for Indiana. They're up 4-0 with 11 minutes left to go in the first. We are just underway out there in Milwaukee. And Celtics Magic going back and forth. Boston back on top, 45-44, 4:55 left to go in the second. Don't go anywhere. VSiN PrimeTime. Draft, the Los Angeles Rams have another tight end to add to their roster. So the Oregon Duck gets a new home, gets to stay on the West Coast as the 46th pick, of the second round here. We also now have the Arizona Cardinals on the clock. This is what you like about the later rounds, too.
Moving a little faster.
Yeah, I was going to say, picks already in for the Arizona Cardinals, which means, of course,
Raiders coming up.
Raiders are up on the clock.
On deck. Raiders on deck. How about if they took Shedeur at number 48? What would you think?
So don't buy it, man.
I don't either. I think right now it looks like he's going to be there in the third round.
I just go back to you used your first pick. You traded the third round pick for Geno Smith. You used your first selection on a running back. Every move has been win now. There is no way you can ignore the holes on your roster to draft a kid who's not going to play for you this year.
Right.
You just can't do it.
Will Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan, keeps sliding.
Mm-hmm.
That might be an option for the Raiders here at number 48. Cardinals picking at 47.
Will Johnson no longer on the board.
Is it Will Johnson?
Arizona Cardinals decide to dive in with the Michigan cornerback, add to their secondary. Will Johnson is the selection at number 47.
Gotta love that pick.
I gotta love it. And also, let's say the Raiders were, the Raiders right there.
Did the Raiders miscalculate and say, we can trade back to 48. We can still get Will Johnson.
Yep.
Well, he's gone on 47.
So now this becomes even more interesting with that selection of what you're going to do. Do you try to trade back further and just put this off even more? Or what do you do with your selection at this point right now? Some would say, let's see, best overall teams. This is an interesting one. Again, if you just go by some of the projections, whatever it is. Mike Green, the edge out of Marshall. That was a guy that many thought was going to go a lot higher.
Got some off-field issues.
He does, but he is still available. You need help along the defensive line. Could that be a selection that is going to come up next for the Raiders? Really, the next the three best guys that are available by some standards would be any variation of these guys that are currently available. When you're talking about Mike Green, Darius Alexander, and Siobhan Revel, who are edges, defensive tackle, and cornerback at the point right now. But it doesn't matter because, as I kind of called it, the Raiders have traded back again. Houston Texans. I think they wanted Johnson.
I do too.
I think they wanted Johnson, miscalculated, and now they had to trade back to buy some time.
Boy, that's a big mistake if that's the case.
Yep.
Now, since Johnson's off the board, I think that's probably why they traded. Johnson's off the board. Well, we just lost our guy. Let's trade back again.
Yep. Has to be it. That's a bad one. Because again,
I would have loved that pick there. You're talking about a guy who's
Sure.
a top 10 talent. He's got a knee issue. He's got a lot of time to get that figured out.
Sure. And again, you talk about as you use the first pick on Genty, and now you continue to trade back, the odds of getting a starter with this pick are dwindling because there's a reason why some of these guys are available.
Right.
Now, their second-round pick, still a high-end pick, but, again, it just continues to shorten up.
At this point, the Raiders can really look to go offensive line, too.
Sure. That could be a case.
Still some pretty good offensive line prospects on the board right now.
We're going to get the pick from the Houston Texans. Want to update a couple of things here. First off, the Indiana Pacers holding strong. So they had scored the first 4 points, gave up a 7-0 run on the other side to Milwaukee. We have now traded blows back and forth. Indiana up on top of the first break of the first quarter, 16-15 with 6:32 left to go in the first. I have Indiana plus 5.5 in the first half. That is what I am sweating out here. Also got Celtics minus 3.5 for the game. That bet made well before the announcement that Jason Tatum was going to play in this contest. They went on a 10-0 run to stretch their lead out. It is now 52-44 with 1:22 left to go in the first half. Again, the 2-0 lead, the 2-0 whole trend. You generally go first quarter, first half. Right now, Orlando in danger of not covering that first half, down by 8 with just over 70 seconds left.
By the way, the Raiders traded back 10 spots and picked up an additional third-round pick, number 99.
Okay.
So that's a pretty good trade. But might have lost the guy you wanted at number 48, talking about Will Johnson, the cornerback from Michigan.
Yep. Man, I am surprised that Shuck went where he did.
Kellen Moore, new coach of the Saints, that's his guy, I guess. Your first quarterback draft pick, Tyler Shuck from Louisville. He's going to turn 26 in September, and he's got a bunch of injuries in his past.
Well, so is he their starter week 1?
I would say I'd make him the favorite.
Right? I mean, because Derek Carr's injured.
Spencer Rattler,
Yep.
Jake Haener,
Mm-hmm.
they both proved last season they're not ready to play and win in the NFL.
You know what? I'm glad you said Spencer Rattler because that sparked something in my mind. I saw a lot right now of, Shedeur Sanders, some projections. He was supposed to be the second overall pick, months ago, right? At the beginning of the college football season. We've never seen anything like this.
At one point, he was a favorite to go number 1.
And you know who else was a favorite at one point?
Spencer Rattler.
Yep. Many, many moons ago.
We laughed about that a long time
You and I
ago.
on the old edge. When we first got odds for that year's draft, Spencer Rattler was the favorite to be the first overall selection.
And we laughed about it.
Yep. And it was like,
that's
that's
a complete joke.
Really
There's
strong.
Zero chance it's going to happen.
Yep. When he was at Oklahoma, that first year of his eligibility for the draft, he was the favorite at one point to be the first overall pick. So we have seen something like this before. Now, that stretched out over time, but we have seen the inaccuracy of the betting market when it comes to this.
So one reason I think Shedeur is slipping, I reflected on the Alamo Bowl. Did you recall watching that game, Colorado blown out by BYU?
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
Shedeur played very poorly in that game, and that was a game a lot of people thought that Dion probably should have sat out Travis Hunter and Shedeur Sanders, right? There's no reason to play that bowl game when you're going to be top NFL prospects, risk injury before the draft. And in retrospect, I think Shedeur should have sat that game out.
Yeah.
You recall there was a third down at the 7-yard line, and he made a terrible decision, had an open receiver, didn't pull the trigger. He took a sack all the way back at the 32-yard line.
Yeah.
Plays like that are why this guy is slipping to the third round.
Sure. All right, so real quick, at me, JVT, at Matt Youmans 24/7, you want to get in touch with the show. Ray checks in, says, is it possible the Raiders are trading back and not too worried about this year in hopes of gathering picks to then be terrible to have an opportunity at the number 1 overall next year? Ray, the problem with that line of thinking is that you spent a 3rd overall pick, traded it away, to go get Geno Smith and then use the 6th overall pick on Ashton Genty. Those are moves that would say a team is ready to try to maximize their current window. It would not then make sense to put all your eggs in hoping to be bad this year. I think what happened was they had a strategy of getting Johnson. Texting with Adam Hill, I was like, they probably wanted Johnson, huh? His response was, I believe so. So, they got screwed. They had a strategy. It backfired. And now you're trading back and trying to gather your pieces so you can see what exactly is going to happen here.
Johnson would have been a really nice pick there at number 48.
Yep.
They blew it.
Current odds right now, according to – go ahead.
Probably should have taken him at number, 36, right?
Yeah,
Take him at number 36.
Yep. Because at that point, you're not reaching. He's already falling.
Right, I know.
You just go and draft him. There's no need. Now, again, you get a 3rd-round pick, whatever, and you're hoping that you get the 3rd that essentially makes up for what you flip for Geno Smith, and you get your corner.
Right.
You just draft him.
So the Raiders are not going to tank. To answer his question, they're not even thinking
They're
about
not hoping
tanking.
that's the goal either. Yep.
When you sign a veteran quarterback like Geno Smith and take Ashton Genty in the top 10, you're trying to win now. And you got a new GM, new coach. These guys don't want to lose.
Mm-hmm. Current market right now, for those who are wondering, and this is Poly market, Raiders 52%, Jets 25%, Jaguars 24%, Browns 24%. And then you get into the single digits. They still have the Saints as a 9% chance to draft Shedeur Sanders. I would say I would flip that. 3% chance that he's not drafted.
Tonight.
Not drafted, period.
He's going to get drafted.
He's going to get drafted.
Mel Kiper's head would explode if that happened.
So I wasn't watching the broadcast. Was he really like that?
Oh, going berserk the whole entire night.
Really?
Yeah. I watched some of the replay last night. I recorded. I got so tired of watching it. I recorded the NFL Network and the ESPN. I had to delete the ESPN broadcast about halfway through. Kiper wouldn't shut up about Shedeur Sanders. Fortunately, on NFL Network, you didn't have to deal with that BS. Yeah. By the way, the Magic covered the first quarter line tonight.
Yep.
Celtics covered the halftime line. Celtics up 59-49 at the break.
And again, to give you some backing here, like some context, to this, Orlando as a 5.5, we'll call it, 5.5 point underdog for the game, was only a 1 point underdog at halftime for the first half, and they failed to cover, as you mentioned. So first quarter gets there, first half does not, and they trail by 10 with with the end of the first quarter here, first half, if I can spit it out here, in the books. Also in the association, we were watching Bucks take the lead right back from Indiana. We were going back and forth, but another TV timeout. 19:16 left to go. 5:44 left to go in the first. This game is on ESPNU, oddly enough.
What game?
Milwaukee and Indiana.
No, it isn't.
Yes, it is. It's on ESPNU or NBA TV, depending on where you get your cable package.
By the way, you know what ESPNU had on yesterday? Cornhole.
Hell yeah.
How can you televise that crap?
What do you mean? What's wrong with that?
As a legitimate sports network, you cannot put cornhole on TV.
It's the Ocho.
So now you go from cornhole one day to the NBA playoffs the next?
Yeah. That, I think, is a great way to pull it off, if you ask me.
Cornhole crap off TV. All right, Demetrius Knight, South Carolina linebacker, goes to the Bengals at number 49. No quarterback.
Still no quarterback.
We're at pick number 50. Mel Kiper's head is about to explode.
Folks, check out the Sharp Plays at sharpplays.com. That's where real bettors go to get ahead. Sharp Plays is the source that many are echoing, and when the Sharp Plays jump on a side, the line reacts every time. Check it out now. Sign up for free betting reports, real-time alerts, and next-level intel via email or on X. Go to sharpplays.com. Respected, watched, and feared. That's the sharpplays.com.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the sports betting network.
Score update here. We got a good one going on so far in the first quarter, as it is 19-all with 4:24 left to go. Giannis Antetokounmpo is at the free throw line trying to break the tie between Indiana and Milwaukee. Current in-game numbers here at a very interesting contest. One that I was very excited for to watch today. 5.5 point spread in favor of the Bucks with a total of 234.5. Seahawks are picking. Shedeur?
It's possible. I don't think it's going to happen here, but it's certainly possible. We're getting into the range now where you can think about drafting Shedeur Sanders and say, hey, we got value with this guy. Mm-hmm. Pick number 50, pick number 60. We're at 5-0 right now, and we got about...
Wow.
That's not a surprise pick. I can tell by your reaction it's not that big a deal.
Tight end Elijah Arroyo at number 50 out of Miami. So
you think
tight end.
Shedeur Sanders ever thought he was going to be going off the board after these guys?
No, there's no way.
Tight ends he's probably never heard of?
I mean, you would hope, to be human for a second, you do hope that there was like somebody told him there is a thought that you could go in like the second round. Like, you would hope he was prepared for that and not just surrounded by people who would just tell him what he wanted to hear. I would think that there were
dopes in the media 2 days ago who were saying the Giants are still thinking about Shedeur at number 3, right?
Yeah, hold on. Blow VA for a sec because I want to pull something up that you'll laugh at. Hold on.
There was a mock drafter who I really respect who had 4 quarterbacks going in the first round, and he put his mock out the day before the draft, and I said, there's no way there's 4. You might get 3. That's going to be a coin flip, and guess what? We had to wait a long time here in the second round to get the third quarterback. Tyler Shuck to the Saints. What was he, pick number 40?
Yeah. All right, I got a good one for you.
We got another trade, by the way. The Panthers moving up. Is that what's happened?
Yep, probably to draft Shedeur. All right, I got a quote for you.
Okay.
I want to state first, I'm a fan of this man, and he's actually one of the reasons why I got into the business. So if you hate me, blame him for this.
Okay, Stephen A. Smith.
No, another one, another gas bag, if you will. Quote.
Colin Cowherd.
Quote, yes. I would trade T.J. Watt, George Pickens, 2 first-rounders, and go get Shedeur Sanders if you think he's a starting quarterback. That was January 16th, 2025. That is from the Herd's official account. We're not all right.
That guy's wrong a lot. But he's making a lot of money in sports radio.
That's an awesome tweet.
His opinions are bad.
That is.
He's got an annoying voice, too. I really don't know why he's so popular.
That is a great.
So he was
great quote.
Again, what was the trade proposed by Colin Cowherd for the Pittsburgh Steelers?
Quote, I would trade T.J. Watt, George Pickens, 2 first-rounders, and go get Shedeur Sanders if you think he's a starting quarterback.
That is absolutely, what did you say, utter buffoonery?
Yeah.
How about this pick by the Panthers? Edge Nick Scorton from Texas A&M. I actually like that. There was a chance he was going to be a late first-round pick. He goes to number 51 to Carolina.
You know, as we get this report from Ian Rappaport, he says, while teams red flagged Will Johnson's knee, he did not have pain or swelling in it. Should be a good sign. We should give that pick a little bit more love. If Will Johnson's what everybody expected him to be before the knee stuff came out, that's an awesome pickup for the Arizona Cardinals. I know not everything's awesome, but like that is a tremendous pickup.
I thought he was going to be a chance he was going to be a top 10 pick.
Yep.
Cardinals get him at 47. Boy, the Raiders really miscalculated that. If they thought they could trade back to 48 and still get him, you got to be heartbroken to get it.
Or if that's correct.
Right.
That there was no pain or swelling or anything like that. If that was your strategy, I mean.
Well, teams get freaked out about knee injuries.
Yeah.
You know? You do. And sometimes that's why players drop so far as well. Maybe that knee injury is going to be a big problem. Let's take somebody else. Let's take a safer pick.
Yep. All right, so let's see. A couple of updates here. Milwaukee with the big 3 and then a stop on the other end. 24-21, 2:01 left to go in the first. We are waiting for halftime.
Again, what's the Bucs' first quarter line?
First quarter line, let me double check. I believe it is 3. I have so many tabs open. Here we go. Bucs' first quarter line here is 3 here at Circa and most spots, yes. So that is the consensus number. In fact, if you played it here at Circa.
That's a big first quarter number.
If you laid it here at Circa, you laid minus 115. That's crazy, man. That is absolutely crazy. So with 1:49 left to go, Indiana has the ball, and we're tracking this. And let me get the updated numbers for this too, because I did tweet them out the other day. Because the Grizzlies did cover first quarter and first half yesterday, correct?
Yes.
Yes. Okay. So I'll get these updated numbers for you, but this is one where, again, larger sample size since 2021, it has not been a winning trend for you. So since 2021, if we factor in the Memphis Grizzlies from yesterday, down 2-0 going back home, those teams are 13-17 ATS first quarter, 14-16 ATS first half. So if we want to throw in the results of the Orlando game, I'm not going to do that. I'm not good at math, but still, you're down. And we will see if Milwaukee can get this thing done here, too. Up by 3 with 90 seconds left to go. Man, that's a lot.
Titans go with an edge rusher at number 52, Oladejo from UCLA.
There you go. Good job.
Well, Carson Schlesinger and Oladejo, pretty good defensive players. Both went in the second round, both out of UCLA. And we're starting to get to the point, we're talking about Sanders. I wonder when Jalen Milroe is going to come off.
I mean, that's also like the big thing hanging over this.
There were multiple sources in the last 2 days on that credible network known as ESPN saying that Milroe is going to be a first-round pick.
I don't know why you have to put that qualifier out there. Indiana up 25-24. Big shot there. 54 seconds left to go. Did want to note really quick because, again, I'm sorry, like a lot of things are happening. We don't want things to get lost in the sauce here. We are in the second period in Washington-Montreal going on. We have a 2-2 tie. Washington went off as about a $1.15, $1.20 favorite on the road against Montreal. They hold a 2-0 lead. Similar concept, right? 2-0 going back home, but Montreal showing some fight. 2-2 right now. It was actually 2-1 in favor of Montreal. So Caps tied it up, but they went off as about a $1.20 favorite. So worth pointing out that, and the fact that the total was 5.5, and right now we are sitting at 2-2. And we are underway between Carolina and New Jersey in the first period, near the end of that one. Hurricanes close is about a $1.50 to a $1.65 favorite, depending on where you shop. So we'll keep an eye on those.
I thought Mitch Moss said something that was worth repeating here on our show. The Cubs beat the Phillies today 4-0 at Wrigley afternoon game. Cubs went off minus 155 here, under the total of 8. I believe Mitch said the Cubs, since losing those 2 games to the Dodgers to open the season, are 18-4-3 in the first 5. Is that right?
Yeah. You know what? You know what you can do?
4-3 in the first 5 innings.
Matt, would you like confirmation on that? Because we can go to VSiN.com and check out the first 5-bet analyzer that is available up there.
Over the last 25 games, that's a hell of a record for the Cubs.
Yes, it is
5.
indeed. How about that, huh? We got everything up at the website at VSiN.com. Check it out now. Summer special. Let's see. Chicago Cubs for the season in the first 5, moneyline-wise, 17-6-3. So what are we talking about here? Remove 2 losses from the Dodgers series in Tokyo.
That's right.
17-4-3.
Yeah.
Oh, but today they won. First
Today
5.
they won.
Did they play today?
They did win.
So there you go.
4-0.
18. There you go. How about that?
That would be it. 18-4-3, right?
Yep.
Yankees
I got that at VSiN.com, by the way.
in the Bronx tonight. Yankees and Blue Jays scoreless in the 6th. Total was 9 in that game. Doesn't look like it's going to get there. You know, we're going to talk baseball here just a little bit later. Hell of a game tonight in L.A. between the Pirates and the Dodgers.
In
who are
contention
struggling a little bit.
for our game of the night.
Well, you know what? If we didn't have NBA playoffs tonight, this would be the game of the night because of the pitching matchup. Paul Skeens and Yoshinobu Yamamoto tonight. That's a hell of a pitching matchup in L.A. We'll talk about that later. By the way, who won the first quarter? Pacers-Bucks.
All over.
Pacers?
Pacers win it outright. Oh, no, excuse me. They late bucket tie. So 26-26. Pacers get the money there in terms of the cover. Bucks were laying 3. So, again, another loser if you're talking about betting first quarter with a team back home down 2-0.
About first quarter and first half?
Just first half.
Oh.
Just first half. Should have gone in at first quarter, too, but just went first half plus 5.5. So I'm sure they'll lose it by 6. That is such, but like you said, I mean, I take the win on principle. I don't know if that'll cash that ticket when I communicate with the sports book. Like, don't you think? But either way, I had to do it, man. It's yes, it is. I don't have words for it. Jason Tatum, how about this game so far?
Tatum's hot tonight, 24 points, and we're early in the third quarter.
Early, we're not even a minute in. He's got 24 points, 62-51, Boston up on top, and he is really feeling it coming back from injury. And again, just going back to what I perceive to kind of be some of these weaknesses, if you will, for Orlando. That's going to be tough. Your backcourt isn't very good on offense, and Tatum, I think, can go after a lot of these dudes and have a physical mismatch. That's a tough offensive foul called on Jaylen Brown on a bucket that he ended up finishing, but that is not going to count. Toss him.
Kind of a cheap call. That to me, that's just a play on.
I would agree. We're in the playoffs.
Defender flopping a little bit. Just play on. Refs blow that whistle too often. Hey, we got Chuck Esposito coming up here in about 20 minutes.
I'm excited.
He put up a prop on rookies. He put up a prop on Ashton Genty of the Raiders that you probably want to bet. You're going to want to hear about this. You and I both like it over.
Wow.
Right?
That's a tease.
Raiders Raiders coming up here, about 5 picks away?
Yes.
Number
I think
58?
they're about 58 or 56, something like that. So, yes, they are in the range of a selection. I can't wait to see what this pick is. Absolutely fantastic. All right, we'll come back. You want to tell the people what the prop is when we return?
We'll wait.
Okay, all right. We'll wait. We continue to look ahead. We'll have a little bit of baseball as well. Don't go anywhere. This is VSiN PrimeTime, and there's so much happening.
This is VSiN PrimeTime on VSiN, the Sports Betting Network.
All right, we got some action here in the association. First off, Damian Lillard looking spry despite dealing with that calf issue that kept him out the first game of this postseason. 31-28, Pascal Siakam at the free throw line. Pacers up on top. He misses the free throw. I mentioned that because earlier he had actually blocked Pascal Siakam at the rim. Now, did give up a and one opportunity to him on the other side, but that's a pretty tough matchup for him on defense. Regardless, Damian Lillard trying to do his best here against Indiana as the Bucks trail by 3 with about 9:50 left to go in the first quarter. Should also note that the Magic have carved their way back into this game. Didn't look like Boston was running away with it, but thought maybe they could open up a double-digit lead. It is now a tie game, and Franz Wagner has one more free throw, all knotted up out in Orlando in the third quarter. I also wanted to note, I thought this was a funny joke. We've been focusing on what's going to happen because the draft's still underway here in the second round. Big storyline is these quarterbacks and Sanders and others. The Raiders, a team that the market thought was going to draft him, closed as about a 250 favorite, minus 250 to get him. Josh Dubow covers the Raiders for the AP and others. He's a sports writer Says Raiders now have three third-round picks, which is like stealing. So,
Okay.
So I'm sure that this is going exactly as they wanted it to.
I got the way things are shaping up right now. Shedeur Sanders is going to go in the third round, and he's going to go to the Raiders or the Steelers.
Yeah.
That's the way it looks, right?
Yes, I would say so. Bit of trivia. One of the surprising moves of the draft was, and this was getting reported, it was in the tea leaves. Schefter had a bit on it yesterday. It was also reported today as well that Tyler Shuck was actually going to be the next quarterback selected here today, and that was the case. The Saints took him. Tyler Shuck, older than?
Jalen Hurts.
And Brock Purdy as well, who's entering his fourth year in the NFL and close to his second contract, as has been noted
Shuck
by
turns,
Chris Vanini.
I believe, 26 in September.
Yeah.
Is that right?
Yep. That's crazy.
Chargers add a wide receiver, Trey Harris from Ole Miss.
Okay.
Is the Chargers pick here at number 55 in the second round.
You like it? You were a big Chargers guy last year
Chargers
in the regular
had to get a
season.
wide receiver. I was scratching my head a little bit last night with Omari and Hampton pick. Running back from North Carolina went to the Chargers at number 22, but Chargers superfan Aaron Moore, the professor, endorsed that pick. He said he loved it. He said Chargers need a home run hitter, big playmaker. He liked the Hampton pick. Didn't you think maybe the Broncos were going to take Hampton at number 20, right? If the Broncos really wanted a running back, they were trying to trade up for Ashton Genty, as was rumored. As I thought it was surprising that the Broncos passed on Hampton at number 20.
Yep.
Steelers went defensive line, Derek Harmon from Oregon at number 21, and then Chargers went with Hampton at number 22. Chargers get a wide receiver here in the second round. I thought they might look to go wide receiver in the first two, but the top three, let's see. Matthew Golden went number 23 to the Packers. So Chargers passed on Golden, Packers got him, and now we got the Bears on the clock again, pick number 56. Ben Johnson went offense the first two times.
Yes, he did, and we'll see what they're going for here. So the Bears are here, and we have the Lions trading up as well. Yes, so let me get the current draft order right now. I believe they
Don't tell me the Raiders are trading down again.
No, they're trading up over both of those teams. So they trade to the 25th pick in the second round. Actually, let me double check. That might have been actually.
That'd be pick number 57.
Yes. Let me see. Let me get exactly what this order is. This is the fun thing about this.
Bears are on the clock right now at 56, right?
Yeah. Let's see. Yes. Okay. So the Bears are on right now at 56. The Lions trade up to number 57, right ahead of the Las Vegas Raiders, who will pick at 58. So we will see what exactly they are targeting with that selection. But clearly saw something that they wanted to get ahead of the teams that were in front, or excuse me, now behind them with that pick. So pick is in for Chicago. Detroit Lions up next, and then the Las Vegas Raiders after that. Really quickly, as we have everything going on right now, you mentioned Major League Baseball. We have a full slate of Major League Baseball here today. A quick look at a little bit later. We have 3 games that have yet to start. They're the later contests, but you are very excited. Yoshinobu Yamamoto is a $2 favorite at home today over Paul Skeens. Minus 205 here at Circa with a total of 7, shaded to the under at minus 115. Always interesting to see this dynamic, especially with a good pitcher like Skeens. Can he keep his moribund offense in this contest against the Dodgers?
Well, Yamamoto's been as hot as a bucket of chicken at KFC. 29 innings, 38 strikeouts, a whip of 0.86, and an ERA of 0.93.
I was like, I don't know if that's that.
Well, I just saw the commercial.
Oh, okay. I was like, is that a thing? Is it really hot?
KFC just advertised a bucket of 8 pieces of chicken for $10.
In today's economy?
That's a pretty good deal.
There we go.
Right?
Chicken's very expensive.
I also saw a Taco Bell commercial a minute ago. The chicken nuggets are coming back to Taco Bell. Somebody asked me on Twitter.
Yeah, what'd you think of those?
Well, I had them the last time they came out.
Yeah, what'd you think of them?
Mediocre. Not great. Not bad, not great.
I mean, what can you expect from Taco Bell chicken nuggets, right?
I know that the Joker's not going to go there to get them. Didn't the Joker's pick on the NBA draft get announced during a Taco Bell commercial?
It was a second-round pick, and it was for, I believe it was like a quesarito or something like that. That was the commercial. Yeah.
Anyway, Yamamoto has been the Dodgers' best pitcher. Really not that close so far. But Dodgers have dropped 3 of 4. They saw us 2 one-run games in Chicago, scuffling a little bit. I still think this is a big number to lay against a pitcher like Paul Skeens. Dodgers at minus 205. I see as high as 220 out there. Total of 7. I mean, you're always tempted to take Skeens in a situation like this, aren't you?
I mean, I think so. You look at the numbers for him, like you're
how about
talking
taking
about.
plus 1.5?
Yeah, but like a 287.
Or play the first 5.
Yep.
Right.
Like a 287 ERA, 2 flat FIP, or do you go? Because again, so if you're gonna go money line first 5, you need the Pirates to win the first 5 innings. Do you go Dodgers team total under first 5? Is that the way you back Skeens without having to go back and ask the Pirates to win a first 5 frames? I think that's the way I'd rather ask him to do it. Because if you're going money line, obviously you need some run support, and I don't know if I would trust that he's going to get that with Yamamoto on the other end.
You're probably not going to get it. How about taking plus a half run?
And you can do that too.
Be 0-0 after 5.
Yeah,
1-1 after 5.
The first 5 total under, I think, is an option as well. If you believe that if you think Skeens is going to do it, because I feel somewhat confident that Yamamoto, with the way that he has pitched so far this season, against a Pirates lineup that is 27th in weighted runs created plus, is going to have a good start. And if you believe in Skeens to that degree, instead of asking that lineup against that pitcher to do something for you, wind up at the first 5 under, or go and bet the Dodgers team total first 5 under, which is available at shops like DraftKings.
I've seen Yamamoto have off nights.
Uh-huh.
It hasn't happened really this season, but I'd be tempted to take Skeens at that price. Ultimately, did not bet it, but I was certainly thinking about it today. So the Bears pick is being announced now. It says on the screen, WWE superstar Seth Rollins is announcing the Bears pick.
Nice. You're a big Seth Rollins guy.
I'd never heard of him. He's a superstar in pro wrestling?
I'll take their word for it. I have no idea.
Don't know? Okay.
The only wrestler I know is John Cena, who has apparently gone heel. But that's the only thing I know.
You know the guy he beat last week, right?
No, who? Oh, well, then why would I know?
Oh, it was a title match, apparently, in Vegas. John Cena.
You seem to know a lot about it.
Oh, Wes Reynolds tweeted about it 100 times.
Oh, okay.
Amazingly, there were sellout crowds at Allegiant Stadium in Vegas for
Yeah.
a pro wrestling event last week.
Yep.
I continue to be baffled about how many reasonably intelligent adults care about pro wrestling.
Yeah.
It's one of the mysteries of the world.
There's many mysteries, but that's probably at the top of the list.
I don't get another
right.
mystery. I see these people at intersections around Vegas walking around with flowers. They're trying to sell the drive. You ever see that?
Mm-hmm.
Who is buying flowers when they're on the road, stopped at a light? Oh, yeah, you know what? I forgot to buy some roses on my way home.
You probably get like a husband or two that is like on the way home during a birthday or something like that. Maybe. By the way,
would
we
you
have
like to walk around out there for 8 hours trying to sell flowers to somebody, hoping to maybe 2 or 3 people say, you know what? I didn't mean to buy flowers and I forgot. Here's $5.
I would not. It would not be great. We do have reportedly the selection for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Sanders?
The Raiders have selected TCU wide receiver Jack Beck.
Jack Beck?
Yep, at number 58.
Are you serious?
Yep. Wow. This is going well. So, number 58 will reportedly be the wide receiver out of TCU.
I mean, Jack Beck's a pretty good wide receiver, but they could have had Will Johnson, and they traded back, and they end up with Jack Beck.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Just go look at the Raiders.
I'm going to say this. So far, John Spytek, Tom Brady are not acing their first draft in Las Vegas.
I would agree with that premise, and I also think that's the problem when you think you're a team that is better than what it really is, right? That is a team that seems to think that it has a window that does not exist in a division, let alone a conference, that is very much ahead of them at this point right now. While we've been talking, the Orlando Magic have opened up a can here on the Boston Celtics, 69-63. What are we laughing at here?
Oh, they're Magic up 6.
Yep, 69-63 with 5:04 left to go in the third.
I just looked up the Celtics led by, I thought, 9.
Yep.
And now we look up and now it's Magic up 6.
Also a 4-point lead for the Pacers. We're in luck. We get Chuck Esposito to join us next.